Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Hormone Helper podcast. I'm Coach Andrew, your hormone helper from Fit for All Fitness. I personally coach over 1,600 men and women to help better understand their hormones so they can lose weight and get their metabolism back on track. With this podcast, you're going to hear from me and my special guests about everything from metabolism to thyroid to weight loss. And we even talk a little bit of sexy time as we chat to spread more knowledge thick like butter on your hormones. If you're ready to learn, I'm ready to share, so let's do this. Welcome back, everyone. I have to say that I'm very excited this week, and it's not just for the information that I'm going to share today. It's because I'm less than 3 days away from my wedding reception, and all I can say is finally, it has been 1 full year since me and my wife Lorna had to push back our reception, of course, due to COVID and number restrictions. So it's going to be nice getting to see my immediate friends, my family, other people that have been looking to finally celebrate our amazing day with us. Me and Lorna chose the lovely Cambridge Mill as our venue, and as per the usual Portuguese fashion, we will be having a 16-course meal courtesy of tradition. Don't you just love it when people are afraid that there's not going to be enough food? So that is my parents coming from a Portuguese background. Apparently, that means that all of my guests have to go home with food for the next week. But all in all, I'm very thankful to have the event happen. Of course, even with COVID still looming in the background. At this point, I feel it's about time that some level of normalcy returns back into people's lives and routines. I know personally for myself, I've been spending a lot of significant time at home. People have been spending a lot by themselves. I think that's a good thing. And that's because being alone really forces you to become more aware of the things that you're lacking. So when you're by yourself, there's no way to avoid or put off any challenges that come in front of you simply because there's nothing to deal with it for you. It's just you dealing with it for yourself. Now, through this past year, of course, a lot's changed for people. They've lost their activity. They didn't go out shopping as much. They ordered in food, and they didn't have any really good coping mechanisms to support them without their loved ones around. And of course, lo and behold, their body and their mental state, well, it started to change. Starts with a little bit of weight, usually around the stomach. Then it bleeds into your energy. Here you go. Let's serve you up a side of fatigue. Then it hits you with cravings. And before you know it, you're having anxiety and panic stressors that you can't tolerate anymore. So then people come to me. Of course, they're super frustrated and upset. And they ask, how the hell does this happen? Why does this happen? I didn't change the way I eat. I didn't change my activity. And now I'm seeing all these changes. Well, I can tell you it's not all food and it's not all activity either. What it could be, and normally what it really is the change in your hormones. When I tell people this, they don't really know what to think. And that makes a lot of sense because no one's really talked about hormones. So many people out there know that hormones exist. They know they have hormones. They know the buzzwords like thyroid or IBS, but no doctor has ever told them what they need to be looking for or why hormones are important. That is what I want to chat about today. I'm going to use probably a strange analogy, but for me, it makes perfect sense to help you understand what hormones are. And of course, I'm going to show you on a base level how your body actually operates. We're going to be comparing your body to your home. That's right, the one that you live in with that nice peaked roof. So just as a heads up, I hate using super crazy high level terms. I think that people in the health industry like to spend more time showing off their knowledge rather than actually helping somebody understand what this is about. So I'm going to keep it super simple. So let's talk the House of Hormones. Actually, that's a good title. I think I'm going to name that House of Hormones today. So I want you to think of your hormones like a system that has to run in the background for your home to work. So in your house, you have 3 systems that work together for your house to function. You have your electrical system run by a panel in your house. You have your heating and cooling run by your thermostat and your furnace. You have your plumbing, which is a standalone system that doesn't really need the other 2 to operate. I mean, ideally, you want to have the lights on while taking a crap, but you can still do it in the dark. Simple so far. Now, for three of these systems, or for each three of these systems, we're going to connect a body part to it. That electrical panel, it's made for sending signals to wiring and creating power to things that need and ask for it. It works just like your brain. Your brain is responsible, on a hormonal level at least, for reading how much hormones you ask for and need, and then improves your body to put out that power or hormones accordingly. If your electrical panel is working right, hormones will be coursing through your system consistently, providing the nutrients and energy that your body needs to function. Now, let's talk about your heating and your cooling system. So, in your house, your furnace is responsible for creating heat and cycling air through the home. Your thermostat, or that kind of Nest style thing people use now, is to change that temperature, and it's basically the output and input that you can slightly adjust. You have control over that. So, for the most part, the furnace works by itself. But sometimes, if something is too high or too low, you can make a few tweaks. Like, say, when you have a ton of people over for a party. If there are way more people in that crowded space, the temperature might be too hot. So instead of cooking your guests, you have the ability to turn that dial down a bit to make everyone, including yourself, more comfortable. The thermostat and the furnace work exactly like your thyroid. So your thyroid will take the energy from the brain coming in and will make adjustments to your metabolism and your energy usage based on what it thinks you need. But for the most part, everyone has a set temperature that they tend to run at. When the thermostat goes hot, your metabolism is burning a lot. And when it runs too cold, your metabolism slows down. In order for your thyroid to run, it needs permission from the brain so it can create that output. And then it's going to make different thyroid hormones based on what the body needs. Both of these systems, your electrical and your furnace, should never turn off, ever, as even being shut down a little bit can cause a huge problem for your house of hormones. Your hormones govern how much energy you have, how much you use, and how much energy you make, as well as it's responsible for creating muscle tissue, repairing things that are broken through regular wear and tear, and also your digestion. Now let's talk about our last system, the plumbing, or what I like to call your gut to poop chute system. Very sexy, right? Technically, your plumbing runs separately, sort of, from the rest of your house. What I mean by that is you can flush your toilet when the power is out, or you can run a tap if your furnace has no power. Really, as long as your plumbing has water going to it, you can still do plumbing things. This is just like your digestive and reproductive tract. Its responsibility is to make sure waste gets removed and that your body gets all the nutrients from food to have the building blocks to actually create those hormones that you need. So it pulls those nutrients in. Although your digestive tract and reproductive system run separately, they still need the other two symptoms. Example, try washing the dishes with your water in the pitch black, or try wiping your butt when you have no phone and it's dark. It's not a good idea. The plumbing system was not made to work alone by itself. For your body, once your thyroid creates the hormones that are needed, it asks your stomach for signals to determine if it needs to ask you for more energy. That's where you get the hunger and the fullness cues from. So the thyroid also tells the body how fast you need your waste to leave, meaning how quickly or slowly you go to the washroom or how quickly and slowly you use and store fat. These are the baseline functions of your hormones. The brain monitors what needs energy and approves and disapproves what gets what. The thyroid governs your metabolism and how fast or slow it is. And your digestion is responsible for asking for more energy, storing energy, and telling you if it has enough. If any of these systems aren't working, you're going to start to develop symptoms and warning signals that, if not corrected, end up having a system failure. A failing system, it doesn't run well, and that means you're not going to run well. Maybe your weight will go up, or your metabolism's going to slow down. Maybe your temperature is going to decrease and you have cold hands and cold feet. There's tons of things that can happen, even muscle wasting. Monitoring your hormonal health is like doing maintenance on your back end system that runs your house. Everyone knows how expensive a furnace and electrical panel are to replace, so we can't let them break inside our own body. We have to do the maintenance required, and this involves looking at the signs as well as the wear and tear that's going to give every single day. So I hope that this helps for those who are new to learning about hormones, and I hope this simplified it for those who have maybe been in the process of seeking some support about their health. Keep in mind, there's a ton of hormone making body parts that I didn't mention, and they take care of other things in the body too. But we all know that the homes we live in have way more tech and running pieces than just those three main systems. But those three main systems govern 95% of what we do, and those other external things like hormones that create skin, hormones that create bone growth, hormone that creates better thyroid metabolism, all of those things are in addition to these baseline and these functions. So the idea with comparing it to a home is basically those three standalone systems all receive separate signals and they all have their own individual job, but they all work in the background to keep your home comfortable and functioning properly. That is what hormones are. So, if your back end system is not functioning properly, you can eat the right things and still not lose the weight. You can exercise a bucket ton and feel absolutely exhausted. You can eat healthy, you can move right, you can sleep more, and still not feel the way you should. Because if one of these back end systems is failing, then even doing some things on the front end, it's not going to be enough to move the needle on these things. So, this is what hormones are, and this is what they do. They are the back end that operates your body. It seems I'm all out of info juice for today. That's all for this episode. And thank you so much for listening. Please leave a raving review for me if you've learned something good, and make sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss an episode. Now, if you're in the mood for some more great content and tools to get your hormones on track, why not check out our free Facebook group and the blog on our site? We do amazing weekly trainings in our group that me and my wife call Tea and Teachings that give good tips for anything hormones and metabolism related. It's also a great community where you get to share your goals and success with like-minded people just like you. I'll make sure to drop both the Facebook group link and the blog link in the show notes for you. Or if you're ambitious like me, the name of the group is Weight Loss and Balanced Hormones. It'll say Fit for All beside it with a picture of me. So come and join us and have more fun.